Welcome to Uncopyable Women in Business. I'm Kay Miller, also known as Muffler Mama. I've been the #1 salesperson in a male-dominated industry, a successful entrepreneur for over 30 years, and now my mission is to help you build a business and brand nobody else can compete with. If you're ready to break out of the pack and create your own uncopyable advantage, stay tuned. My guests and I are here to help. And a quick heads up, I just released something brand new to help you boost your sales without being pushy or salesy. I'll tell you more about it later in the show, but if you can't wait, go to beuncopyable.com/sales-course. And that link is in the show notes. I'm here with Lori Heath, and Lori Heath lives the spirit of reinvention. We met a couple weeks ago and had a great conversation, Lori. It was really fun to get to know you and your kind of eclectic experience and background. You currently work at Pigtails Hair Salon, and we'll talk about that connection in a moment. But your journey has taken you through multiple chapters. You said you have been a cocktail waitress in casinos, which worked very well as you were raising your family, your kids. You've owned real estate properties. You've partnered in a construction business with your husband for 25 years. And recently you are diving into something new, which is the study of Reiki energy healing. I can't wait to hear more about that and just following your passion to help others in really a deeper way. Lori, thank you so much and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
As we were just talking about, here's a fun fact. One of your clients, you're in New Jersey, is one of my clients. I do business consulting and training, and you keep Aaron looking very handsome and styled. And so he always has told me how he enjoys your visits together, and you guys have great conversations. And knowing that you are always looking for more ways to, explore possibilities for yourself, he gave you my book, Uncopyable Sales Secrets, I think Steve's book, Uncopyable, and now we have Uncopyable You personal branding book, and you just devoured those, and I know they really resonated with you. So, of course, I love you already.
Thank you.
So let's just talk a little bit about, just briefly fill us in on your background. I forgot also to mention that you're a skier, which I'm a skier too, but talk us through a little bit about your journey so far, and then we'll get into kind of where you want to go from here.
My journey, I guess, would be into hair. I think establishing my hair business, what I found would be one of your uncopyable secrets. I learned that there is a whole little pool of women that have careers, they have kids, and some of them I've met them at 7 after they get their kids on the bus, they come get their hair, then they were going to work. So I found that was a sales secret is ladies have certain different times that don't meet the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock appointment. So I started growing a more bigger business through just that. I have like doctors that come early before they see their patients to get their hair done, lawyers. So that has been finding an uncopyable thing that nobody else wants to be at the salon at 7 or 8. So that's been helping build my hair business. I wanted to add that in there.
And I do want to comment on that because I think people get intimidated by what does it mean to be uncopyable? What's it going to take? How many things do I have to do? And so you're boiling it down to something as simple as I'm going to meet them where they are. If they need to have their hair done at a certain time, which is outside normal hours, you doing that sets you apart from all their other choices. I think that's really, the simplicity in that is really pretty brilliant.
They love it. Dr. Kane, she comes every Friday. This week she had a meeting, so she said, can you please come at 7:45? But some people, there's nobody in the salon. Sometimes she has to bring her dog. And I've learned to scale the walls just by doing them simple little things. I'm already up at 4, so if I need to meet someone at 7 or 8, but I started with no clients, and I have built a full book And so just by that was a shift that I did that was like a blueprint for success.
If you're listening, again, I just want to emphasize how simple a small shift can be. Now, I say a small shift, but that takes a big commitment on your part. And we talked a little bit before, and I want to get into that about what you do to set up your day, to take care of yourself, to give yourself the energy that you can also be so personable that Aaron, my client, Aaron Huber at Orscheln, awesome guy, so supportive of both of us. He just raves about you. Seeing you is a highlight. You've got this great energy. And yes, you go above and beyond. So those are all, you might shrug them off even, but they're really important.
Yeah, they are. I have another lady that comes from Violet. She runs a construction company, sell concrete out there. And she drives down. Can you meet me at 8? That she goes to work. So it's really cool because it just really has helped build my business, and people like it. They like to be, I think they like the right carpet rolled out too. That, and also me work at a casino, I worked with high rollers. So I also learned what works with people that are, I don't know, have money or want that extra touch. So I was thinking about what I could talk about with you and would be secrets of working in the hotel industry. Casino is, how do you say that? I'm trying to think. Customer service, but there's another name for it when you work in the hotel industry. But I blend the two. Do you want coffee? Do you want heat or massaging them at the sink? Just little things I did because I had to do that working in the casino, because in the casino we had high rollers. They want everything very nice and efficient. So blend the two.
Yeah. And I suppose everyone wants that. Of course, the high rollers, like it or not. I remember someone said customer service is just horrible these days. If you go somewhere like a casino and you're a high roller, which I'm not, but I've seen the kind of treatment that they get. So yes, customer service is there. Yeah. You probably have stories, right?
Oh, yes. They would radio the back, and she needs champagne and orange juice. Row number 3 now. Drop everything and bring it. But they know what they're doing. They have the most money. They're learning how to keep the people in and keep them coming back. So I just a couple little things. But thinking to you this week, I was like, how could I express or explain what I'm doing today that all those years I'm in a small amount doing at work, but they like it.
Everyone feels like they should be treated as special. We are all special. Yeah. And if you can give that personal touch, and as we've talked, you've done that throughout every position that you've had, and it's made you one of the most successful wherever you go. So it's not really, we say secret. A lot of these things, maybe they aren't secret, but knowing something and doing something are two different things. It takes a big commitment, right? You are committed. You are up early. You have a morning routine. You talked about protecting your energy and your mental health, all those things help you give to others, wouldn't you say?
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, I was just talking about, I've been sleep deprived lately and trying to figure this out. And you were talking about stuff that maybe sounds woo, but I am a believer in woo because I just don't think that we know how everything works. We don't have everything figured out. And of course, telephones or cell phones, they might be affecting our energy, but they're also sucking our attention and feeding so many things into our brains that we don't really need. So keeping all those things top of mind. And I'm sure that relates to the Reiki that you're interested in studying. So why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because I'm super curious.
As far as protecting our energy, yes, because with the cell phones and everything coming at us, Reiki helps clear it and cleanse it off because the energy could get like stuck in certain areas if you're holding tension in your shoulders or your hips. So the Reiki, I don't know if I can explain it because it's very entailed, but if you get a Reiki treatment, it helps everything flow and gets heaviness off, or just helps you move a little more freely. because we
I, I'm
people.
sorry, I'm assuming that's related to Chi, which is Tai Chi. And actually, my husband Steve has studied a lot of martial arts and Eastern philosophies. And there's all that things
Very
about energy
similar,
that we
yeah.
don't know, right?
Yeah, it's very similar. And just, or even just a nice walk in the woods with your jacket off, the little fresh cold air, it'll help pop some of that off because it'll cleanse you naturally. The trees do that. Sorry,
And I mentioned
text messages.
I'm sorry, what?
The text messages were going down the screen. I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't see that, but yeah. And I mentioned we have a very lovely forest nearby and some trails, and I was much better at taking those walks when we had dogs. And of course, dogs are really good for your energy too.
They
But
are, yes.
somebody was talking to me about meditating, and I was saying that I've started playing the piano in the last couple of years, and she said that's meditating. It doesn't
That's
always have
great.
to be right. There's some closing your eyes and whatever. Some
Absolutely. Yes. They say just to get your mind in a would be like a flow state or a happy state, just doing something that brings you joy helps clear your energy. Today I did step. I was like, let me do a step class that I hadn't done in years just to give my mind and get it learning something different or get the wheels turning. And it helps your brain. It helps bring creativity, helps because you could get in a groove thinking in the same pattern, walk on the treadmill or lift the same weight. So when you break those patterns up, it helps your brain.
Right.
As you get older, I'm 56, you could get in grooves, like a same old way of doing things. So I like to break things up to keep it fresh.
And you mentioned that one thing you liked about the book, where I mentioned neuroplasticity, that, yeah, it's like roads being built through your brain, right? And if the same roads get built over and over, those grooves get deeper and deeper. You're getting Grand Canyons on the things that you do all the time. And I remember years ago, and I'm older than you, as a kid, reading that it's really good to drive different ways to work or just don't walk into the store the same entrance every time or whatever, which I can't do that because I have to park the same place every time I go to a familiar store. So I know where my car is. But
so you learn the same things, it sounds like, as I have with the different changing things up and things like that.
Yeah, I think that's always good. I do find in talking to the women I interview on this podcast, like you, who are very successful. And one thing that's interesting about you is that you've been successful in various endeavors. Pretty much everything you've done, you've said, okay, I want to find the best way to do this. And these philosophies, things we're talking about, will help you in whatever you're doing. And you listening, who knows what you're doing? We don't know what you're doing. But these, I don't know, foundational principles that we're talking about, that Lori's learned about, will help you. So tell me about your morning. Let's just pick one thing out. What would you say your morning routine is? Are there some things that you will not compromise on in the morning to get you started?
Absolutely. One is Dunkin' Donuts coffee at 4. I wake up at 4 and have coffee. And I do read the Bible. That is something I do every day for the last 22 years. And I read a proverb because of the wisdom King Solomon had. And those principles and the proverbs have literally changed my life. And I will not miss a day without doing that. Just because it talks about don't be lazy, rise up early, roll your sleeves up, get ready for work. Don't owe no one anything. So certain things when I didn't always feel like getting up and getting ready for work, just to hear don't be lazy, go to work hard is very convicting. When I was transitioning into becoming more successful, when I was younger, I wasn't always thinking like this. So when I was getting wisdom, it really helped keep me going. The yoga in the morning really helps stretching, keeping with work, because it's physical. My job is physical. So just stretching and doing the yoga really helps keep the body fluent and not stiff. I think even just adding those things as you get older keeping your balance. Yoga keeps you could stop falling or something, go to a trip and you could catch yourself because you're already balancing yourself all the time. There's a lot of things we can do as adults, women, like older, to do preventative medicine.
I like just, you might have more, but feeding your mind positives, whether you use the Bible and, like you said, the Proverbs, which are all really, I don't even know the word, wholesome, very wholesome practices, which our brains are bombarded with negative messages and messages we don't control from the world. And so for you to take charge of that and say, this is what I'm going to start my day with, putting in my brain. And then the yoga and the fitness, I touched on that the fact that you're a skier, and Aaron talks about that a lot because I know he would like to ski more. And I'm a skier and I'm 65. Funny story that I take a ski bus up to the mountain, Crystal Mountain. We're in Seattle, Washington, Mount Rainier, so beautiful. And I take a ski bus every Wednesday. The bus, there are 50 people on the bus, and I'd say 5 or 6 of them are in their 80s.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is.
Gosh.
It's unbelievable. And in fact, at Crystal, they had a policy for many years that if you're 70 or over, you could ski for free. Guess what?
Well,
they had to raise it to 80 because everybody's in their 70s.
Yeah.
It's just
That's great. That's wonderful.
It is. And I'm 65. I'm one of the young ones on the bus. And it just really also is such a great example of how you treat your body, how you treat your mind, what you do. It might not make a difference when you're 30 or 40 or 50, but when you get to be 51 and above, whatever, at some point in your life, it really changes your life experience, your quality of life, how you could be active and contributing. And like you're younger than me, but you're starting in, you said you are going for your master's in Reiki, right?
Correct. Yes.
Hey there, just popping in for a quick break to tell you more about that thing I mentioned earlier. It's called the Uncopyable Sales Secrets video series. It's a 9-part bite-sized course I created to help you sell more without feeling pushy or salesy. In just a few minutes a day, you'll learn how to stand out to new prospects, become a true asset to your current customers, and uncover sales opportunities your competition is totally missing. If you're serious about growing your sales and your business, this will work for you. Check it out at beuncopyable.com/sales-course. And by the way, that link is in the show notes. Now, back to the show. So just give me what is involved in that? Just a few of the things that you mentioned.
With the masters, it's more, you can do I can do distant healing. Actually, that's a good idea. I could do a practice distant healing on you. You use symbols. I'm not so familiar right now with all the symbols. I'm still learning them because there's a couple. They're Chinese symbols. And the masters, I'm not really actually sure. I think it's just like blending the two, the 1 and the 2, because 1 is hands-on with the person in front of you. Level 2 is distant. And you can use crystals, your thoughts. It's very entailed. I don't know too much about the masters. Usually when I get to the class, my teacher, Erica, then she opens the book, fills me in, and then she emails me the book after the class. So I don't know that much about the masters, but I'm super excited because each time I go to take the Reiki classes, I just gain so much more information, but it's very big. It's how to explain it. It's big. The energy healing, it's not I need like days to even fill you in because a lot of it's a mind focusing. I would focus on you. If it's a certain area, I have to sit there, focus on your shoulder. If I get any messages, I'm tuning in with the body. I get a lot of emotional things when I do this from people. I do get messages where if I have them, I give them. So it's definitely like I have to be tuned up. I usually go walking in the woods before I do the sessions, and I really decompress. I won't see anybody unless my head is clear. I clear my board and totally get myself in, I guess, as Zen state, you would say.
Right.
Yeah, because the energy work is I give myself when I do it from head to toe. I'm totally, like, if you were to come, I would totally present with you and focus on what you need. I love it. It's a lot.
And that was unfair that I just threw that question out
Yeah.
to you because, you haven't taken the masters yet. I would love to come revisit this when you have gone through this, right?
Yeah, that feeling is not like going to school and get your master's in like math or science. It's like body, soul, and spirit, and then in connecting with another human. It's very involved and entailed, and you're praying for people, praying for their healing or their health or their whatever's happening with them. Because a lot of women. I'm going to use women because that's basically, I don't want to practice on men. But a lot of women have emotional trauma from their childhood or their marriages or boyfriend, whatever, that's where I love to work with women because a lot of them just need to cry and get some things out.
I love that. It's like probably partially therapy in some ways, right?
Oh, it is. So a lot of the women that are coming to these things, they need help and they're looking for answers or part of an answer. Working with a girl right now, and she has a lot of mom issues. And they're so deep. I was getting messages about when I was working on her she's like, good to purge. She's not from the America. So she's like, good to purge this weekend, which I said, what is purge? I don't even, purge is me cleaning my closet. It's crying. It's tears. I'm going to be purging all weekend. I
like that. There's something very healing about tears. I believe in that. We all think, oh, don't cry. But boy, a good cry, there's really clears out your brain, clears out all the spider webs, right?
Yeah.
So, well, that is really interesting. I wanted to mention that I have worked with a hypnotherapist who's become a friend, and I met her, actually my husband Steve met her in some online business group. She's in Berlin, Germany, and her name is Kat. Yeah, and so we've done hypnotherapy over Zoom. And she has helped me with sleep issues, which, as I said, I'm still having some of those, but it has helped. And then also, not that weight loss is the most important thing, but I wanted to lose 10 pounds and I just couldn't do it. And we did a session and just where she put me in a state of relaxation. I know people they're so scared off by the word hypnosis or hypnotherapy because they don't want to bark like a dog, but just planting those seeds. And then she made a recording, which I listened to a lot. And that has really helped shift the way I think and my results. And like you said, you could do this, what you do. I'm sure it's ideally would be in person, but you could, with technology today, do some of this remotely. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I've had it done remotely 5 years ago, and it was actually better remote by my teacher, Erica, than it is in person. And she likes it better doing it remote. She said she can focus more and not be like, because what happens is you get talking versus just being able to hone in on the person and not actually voice. But I like it both ways, like to do it, but I'm learning the distant healing. They call it distant healing, Reiki.
It opens up a whole new world, literally.
It definitely.
Speaking of Zen, and I do like that Zen word and feeling, because I'll tell you, I mentioned piano. I can literally sit at the piano and I look at the clock and an hour has gone by. It takes me somewhere totally different. And with music being generated electronically through our iPhones and speakers and all that, there's something about that vibrating of the piano that's really just, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I think you understand.
I do.
Also, skiing does that for me, and I'm sure it does that for you. So tell me about skiing, because I could tell you about how I feel about it, but I want to hear from you about all the things, between nature and the physical movement and all the things that make skiing just really magical.
Oh, I've been skiing since I'm 3. So ever since I can remember, I've been skiing. But one of the most fascinating things I feel is when you get to the top and you can see, I think from where I ski in Pico, Vermont, you can see 5 states radius around. And I can see the White Mountains. I think it's Mount Washington on a good clear day. So that alone sets air in my sails for just, I don't know, the whole winter. Part of that. It's just, I think how wonderful. I think I'm the luckiest person in the world just to be able to go and do that and experience seeing beautiful things. We went this weekend and there was an ice storm in Vermont. And
Really?
we took a hike. My husband said, we could get killed doing this. It was so beautiful. Everything looked like blown glass. We walked through we did a 2-hour hike, one up. Everything looked like it was glass. It was so gorgeous. I was a high, a natural high. I don't do drugs. I don't drink anything. I don't even take an Advil. So to me, it is one of the most precious things I think I've ever experienced, just being in the forest and seeing God's nature and all four. We hike in the rain, we hike in the snow, and I ski and all this, but because we went up there and everything was just like glass over. It was gorgeous.
Wow. That sounds amazing. It sounds like something, as many times as you have been up there, you've never seen something quite like that.
Not like that. I've never been up there in an ice storm. Trees were breaking, lines were down, we lost electric. But back to the skiing. I mean, skiing, I love it because I can go fast. I'm 56 now. I'm like, I can still do these wonderful things and just have fun. The kids can come. You can do it with your family. I do it with my brothers, my sister-in-laws, friends. It's just something that can keep your family together. Have food, we hang out in the house, we play games, we go eat. My grandkids, we all come in. It's a wonderful family thing to do. My parents raised me doing it. I raised my own kids, and now my grandkids are coming. So it's something beautiful and wonderful that you can do, but also it's a sport and that everybody can do it. And to me, it's one of the best things you could do as an adult alone or with your family.
Right. And you have a big advantage. As I said, I ski with people who are in their 80s. And one gal, I just gotten to know her. This has been a great experience for me too, because I think we all make judgments about people. And I see someone on the bus who might be hunched over, and I'm thinking, oh, I hope I don't get stuck. Don't listen to this, people on my ski bus. Hope I don't get stuck skiing with that person. Then you get to know them, and I can tell people who've skied their whole lives, and sometimes they are just fabulous skiers. And whether or not they are, it's really been eye-opening for me to go beyond my first impression, because everyone has a story, and meeting new people is just so fascinating, and letting go of your first impression and finding out. But also that physical part, I wanted to throw in that I do spin class. Yes, I do. And I don't know if I can really claim that right now, but before COVID, I was going 3 times a week to the gym early, super early, insanely early. My friend got me into it and I thought she was crazy. And I started going at 5:45 a.m. and I got hooked. And I tell you, mentally, my mental health was never better. Then COVID shut that down. They lost instructors. So I'm using it as an excuse probably too, but I still haven't truly gotten back into it. But that physical movement, which skiing includes that too. Your heart is racing from fear and exhilaration, but also it's work. If you're skiing right, you're not just sliding down the hill. It's a lot of work. And I'm not a great skier like you are, but it's still, everyone can enjoy it. I'd love that. You've just got so many Oh, I don't know. So many really interesting components of who you are, your experience, and how you have found a way to really stand out. Be someone that Erin, our mutual connection, said, "Kay, you've got to talk to Lori. She's fascinating. She excels at everything she does. She loves life. She cares about people." Those are some of the things that he told me about you that make you special. And so I want to honor that. And I want to remind the listener that all these little things that Lori's talking about, from reading the Bible in the morning and walking in the woods and appreciating family and skiing, those types of things, they really all add up and they change your life.
Absolutely. They changed my life, just made little by little, shifting my mindset, doing these things. My husband and I, we probably like everybody, started out with nothing, and we had some couple of businesses. The one business we wanted, we went in partnership with some friends, and that kind of didn't go so well. So when you burn a bridge or you lose financial, we had invested like our life savings with these people to open up this gym. And I remember crying. I couldn't even put gas in my car for a year. And when I started applying like the Bible principles, how to get out of debt, also Dave Ramsey, to give him a little shout out, his principles. It took about 10 years, but we are debt free, mortgage free. And I'm not trying to boast, but I'm probably more than anything trying to give people like hope. If you really row your boat and really dig your heels in and do the work, because I feel like that's basically what I've had to do, is almost like getting through all that and getting back on the other side of all that and being financially free and thriving in my business and still working out and still skiing and doing things that I love and enjoy. It's been a really good process, but some of it wasn't always easy, very painful in the beginning to turn the ships around. And you go from one career or business, some ups and downs, but definitely walking in the woods and skiing is a really good antidote, I say, to help fix negative situations, or when you're walking through something negative, to give it a little upswing. For me,
How inspired. Go ahead. What?
For me, it is. I mean, some people like to golf. I'm not a golfer, but I'll go just hang out in the trees and walk.
Well, defeat isn't the end. A lot of people are defeated and remain defeated or bitter or whatever, but life, boy, is full of ups and downs. Just the fact that we are living a lot longer, 100 years ago or whatever, where the life expectancy was so much shorter. We have so many more opportunities. Ups and downs will come with that, and how you handle that is really going to determine where you end up in your quality of life. So, Lori, I so appreciate you sharing all of that, and we'll have to come back and revisit our conversation when you've gotten more into the Reiki. I'm very interested and curious about that. Meanwhile, I will put some links to get a hold of Lori, follow you. You said LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Is there anything else that you want me to include in the show notes, or is that pretty good? Pigtails, maybe?
Pigtails, if they're in this Jersey Shore area, Pigtails.
Okay, that sounds great. And by the way, I'm going to have to throw one last thing in. You were made for hairstyling because you have amazing hair. It's gorgeous hair.
Thank
you. You're lovely inside and out, as Erin said. And Lori, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Kay.
Thanks for listening to this episode. See you next time, and always remember to be uncopyable.